everyone reacted. I think the first time I saw that new Cameo was at South by Southwest.
You have an amazing ensemble of actors in this movie, from a scale of easy, tricky, and almost impossible. What was the process to convince each one of them to be in your movie? Like, what was your method?
Our method was to, in some ways, let the script speak for itself. John, my partner, and I wrote the script, and that has always been our biggest calling card when trying to get cast on board. So for someone like Hugh Grant, who we thought was impossible on your scale, he read it, his agent sent it to him, he saw the title, he said, yeah, this isn't going to be for me. And then he read it, and he told us, he said he hates everything he reads, and he loved our script. And so he was in. With Chris Pine, similar thing. It just so happened that his nephew was playing a D&D campaign with friends for several months. And so he went and sat in on a game, and he saw all the fun and the potential of it, and he wanted to get involved too. So it's always a process with any good actor. You know, you kind of have to win them over a little bit. They all saw the potential and the chance to play something they haven't gotten an opportunity to play. Like, it's Michelle Rodriguez. She's played tough women before, but not really a barbarian. And Regé-Jean Page hasn't had a chance to do anything like this either. So that's been fun.
We need to add one more actor. I'm not going to say who, because it's a very surprising cameo in the movie. But I do want to ask you about, again, don't say the name, but the behind the scenes of that decision, because when people go to see the movie, they're going to want to see, like, why? What happened? Right. Yay! Yeah. Thank you.
Well, we always wanted to have a very recognizable actor in that part because they are 3 feet tall. And we thought that that would be a great reveal when that door opens. This particular person, my partner had some relationship with because they had been on a television show together many years ago and sort of kept in touch. And we sent them the early cut of the movie, and they loved it, and they said, sure, I'm in. So we got them took 1 day. And then, a lot of visual effects, but it was a great coup. And I think people have been really shocked when they see it.
Thank you for coming to Mexico. I'm very happy that you're sharing your time with us.
Of course, we're happy to be here.
We know that the game of Dungeons & Dragons is about improvisation. Your character, that's a shapeshifter. I want to ask you, what was the best improvisation that you are so proud of yourself?
Improvisation? I don't think I did too much improvisation.
You did a great job of bringing the creatures and the characters to life, and
that's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. I think she's a tremendous actress.
One of the things that helped me with this character was the stunt work, where we tried to find her fighting style, and it's very animalistic, close to the ground, defensive, open palm type thing. So when she kind of gets into combat, you kind of see this almost the physical animalistic side of her, which really helped with when you turn into the characters, makes more sense.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I know you and your partner are fans of Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if it was you. The brother of one of you was a dungeon master.
That was me,
Yours.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then this movie for you is more important because it's like, you used to beat me, you used to kill me, and now I'm doing this movie. Yes. So that's amazing.
Everything I do is just trying to keep up with my brother. I remember as a kid just feeling the excitement of a game that you kind of make up as you go. There's not a lot of games like that. And as a filmmaker, that is very much the seed of the creativity that comes out of it. And so the idea of putting this world on camera, it's tricky because you want to create the feeling of spontaneity, but of course a movie can't really be spontaneous. You have to plan everything. So that was the balance.
I know you used to play Dungeons and Dragons at one of your high schools. And I guess for you, how your inner child was so happy to be part of a project like this, where you can be a creature. Like, I always felt that in another life I would be an elf, I feel like that.
When I heard they were going to make a Dungeons and Dragons, I was like, oh, this is exactly what I've always thought would be such a good idea. And I'm so glad they're actually finally doing it. And I've never I've technically played a character that kind of has powers, but not to the point where it's like I get to be almost a different race. I get to be a tiefling and a druid and live in this world just filled with magic. And it's something that I've never experienced before, but something I've always wanted to do. I think that's why everyone goes to Red Fair and things like that.
Exactly.
And just to like have that, slight, just the intro and like a little bit of like feeling like they're in a fantasy world. And so this is like every LARPer's dream come true, basically. So
I didn't know what to expect of this movie. I have to be honest. I was like, I hope it goes well, because the cast is amazing, because I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings. I have my ring, actually. I'm an elf. I feel like I'm an elf. But
Is that the ring?
let's say it's original.
Right.
I want to think that.
Yes.
When I saw the movie, I was so happy and relaxed that it was amazing. And the reviews are also saying that. So I do want to ask you, how relaxed do you feel when the first reviews came out and you were like, yeah, I nailed it. I nailed it. Well, you nailed it as a team, of course.
Right. Well, those first reviews are always a bit terrifying. Usually they're the trades, the Hollywood Reporter, Variety, and they can be very mean. We were out South by Southwest Film Festival in Austin, Texas, and that was the premiere when we first showed it to critics. And then we waited till about midnight. I was very tired, but I stayed up till 1 a.m. waiting for it to post. And I was thrilled that they were all positive and that people seemed to be getting what we were doing. But you're not alone coming to this movie with skepticism, because I think there's been some not great interpretations of it in the past. The brand, I think people may think, oh, I have to play the game, but we really wanted to make a movie that you don't have to know anything about D&D to enjoy.
I feel like I will be more relaxed after opening weekend, and after we find out if people show up to see the film. I think the film's incredible. It's got great reviews so far. We have a great cast, and I think the whole thing kind of works mostly because of the tone, which I think is like playful and funny and inviting and warm without being silly. And it kind of like reminds me of why we go to the movies in the first place, this film.
My last question for you is about that cameo. I was asking Jonathan, we're not going to say the name of the actor. I want to ask you, how did you leave that behind the scenes?
What did you think? Did you know what was happening?
I did.
You did? Yeah. When did you find out?
I found out after the first time I watched it. There was a first screening, and it was actually some other actor. It was another actor who also did an amazing job.
Yeah.
But then John came up to me and said, "Oh, by the way, we have this idea of this guy, this other actor being Marlon instead." I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. Let's see how that works out."
The film is, you're having a great time and you're enjoying the film. And we always had this part in the middle. It was like a little slow because you just kind of stop off. And now it's like, oh my God, it's a treat. Like, what are we doing here? And why is this guy here? And I think it really is surprising. And I love that people aren't ruining it. I love that no one's talking about it, because everyone kind of seems to agree. It's like such a great experience in the theater. So like, why talk about it? So why say his name? Let's keep it a secret. It's really fun that no one's really mentioning it. It's great. I can't believe it happened.
Everyone reacted. I think the first time I saw that new cameo was at South by Southwest, which certainly was an experience.